Live from San Antonio, Texas, is Championship Saturday for the CCL. Welcome into the broadcast where we have 4 teams and one will stand at the end of the day. My name is Quinn, better known as Colorblind, joined as always in the booth by the Matt Man. Matt, how we feeling, man?
Oh, brother, it is the last day of College COD for this season, for VO6, and we are so happy to be here with you guys, covering the first matchup of the day between Fisher Esports and Oklahoma Christian. Quinn, obviously, we saw all of these teams play yesterday in the round robin. A lot of mixy action between almost everybody. St. Clair State stood above them all, who today may be able to knock them off that pedestal, steal the $15,000 and that trophy.
Hey man, the Saints have come marching in across the collegiate scene for Call of Duty. They end things off on a 3-0. Oklahoma Christian and Fisher round things out in the middle of the pack, and we'll be covering them to start off our day. Northwood Esports, though, coming in, sitting on the donut, currently looking to rectify that. It's a really, really talented roster. Just have things go a little bit wrong within the round robin. You'll see them bounce back within the bracket today. Speaking of which, let's take a look at our bracket to lay things out between the final 4 teams. Of course, you've got Fisher taking on Oklahoma Christian on the upper side of the bracket, as you have St. Clair taking on Northwood Esports as well.
Yeah, obviously 2 good winners matchups. We saw the playoffs earlier a few weeks ago online. We battled it out. These were the 4 teams that we felt like were going to make it, and these are the 4 teams that have made it all the way to San Antonio. Obviously, the 2 losers of these 2 matches will face off in that first elimination round 1, and our 2 winners move on towards that winners finals. Quinn, an interesting point I know you and I brought up in the green room was how much of the strats were being kept under wraps yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Everybody knowing that it's a round robin, everybody knowing that they're going to make it to today, and this is what counts. What are these teams going to look like coming into today? Because obviously for Fisher, not necessarily what we've come to expect from them yesterday as they go 1-2. Obviously losing to this Oklahoma Christian squad in a map 5. They get a rematch today. How different do you think they're going to look coming into this one?
Yeah, I think, of course, during round robin, you're not going to want to throw the kitchen sink out. That's usually saved for Championship Saturdays. So you're looking for this Fisher team to rebound a little bit. You're also looking for this Northwood team to rebound a little bit, but they're going to have a tall task up against them in the St. Clair Saints. Want to zero in, though, on our matchup to start the day off. It's Oklahoma Christian taking on Fisher Esports. You said it. These 2 teams faced off yesterday. It went to a game 5. When it came down to it, Oklahoma Christian able to notch it out, able to get things to go. And you take a look at the head-to-head stats, you kind of start to see why a lot of that on the side of the Respawn, where they have been impenetrable.
No, absolutely. A 30-2 hardpoint record from the side of Oklahoma Christian, playing a considerable more amount of hardpoints as you have lost out on a few S&Ds and you have lost out on a few more controls. But Quinn, 32 hardpoints and you've only lost 2. That's an incredible stat line to look at. On the flip side of things for Fisher, you've been decent across the board. 19-5 in hardpoint, 19-4 in S&D, undefeated, untested inside of control, 21-0, Quinn. We know once we get to that map 3, this is always why Fisher, you know, their series typically go to that map 4, that map 5, because they're at least going to steal that control away. And even when you and I were casting the playoffs from a few weeks ago when they went up against the St. Clair Saints and got 4-1, they still won the control.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, this Fisher team, you haven't lost a single control, so you're at least feeling good about that, but you're looking to start quick, start fast as we get a lay of the land with our maps and modes. Kicking things off on the Vault hardpoint before we bounce into Protocol for some search and destroy. A Hacienda control in the middle of it. If we need them, which we most likely will between these 2 teams, Hacienda hardpoint, rewind, search and destroy await us in the wings. And I say that because, especially in the case of this Fisher Esports team, what we saw yesterday was them running the gauntlet, Matt. Every single game they played went to game 5.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you go through 3 series and all of them go towards a map 5.
Good Lord.
Quinn, you talked to me a little bit about it. I mean, tell me here, how are you feeling about the gas tank of Fisher right now? Because obviously you played 15 maps in 3 series yesterday.
Yeah, you only win one of them as well. So it's not just the gas tank, but it's also the mental coming off of that. You run the gauntlet and you're only able to take away a 1-for-2 record. If you're on the side of Fisher, you're not feeling great about how that round robin went. But that being said, you have proven beyond a measurable doubt that if you are going up against a gritty team, you are more than equipped. And we've seen that throughout the season from this Fisher squad, right? This is a team that has resilience. This is a team that is going to battle you to the bitter end, and most times is going to get the edge on you. So you're looking at this Oklahoma Christian squad on the other side of the coin. Yes, you were able to do the do-si-do with Fisher the first time. The rest of the way, you kind of dealt business to every single team that you went up against it outside of St. Clair, where you lost in game 4. You're looking at this Oklahoma Christian squad. You're looking at this Fisher squad. You're saying both of them, this could go to a game 5.
No, absolutely. And I mean, if Oklahoma Christian is not prepared coming into this series for a long and, as you said, grueler to come in, they might not be able to get all the way to the finish line, Quinn, because Fisher Esports, you talked about it, resiliency, but the gas tank right now is a question. How do they bounce back from 3 separate map 5s yesterday, starting out on a vault hardpoint, Quinn? We know we're going to get fast, we know we're going to get mixy, and there's going to be a lot of fiery action.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be a live by the sword, die by the sword thing for the side of Fisher, because you're either coming out here and you're saying, hey guys, we did game 5s every single day. We have an unlimited gas tank. We just know that we have to have the ability to finish, and that's going to be the differentiating factor. Or you're coming in with a gas tank that's a little bit towards the empty side of things, and you might be exploitable. So you got to keep caution for concern with this Fisher roster on the side of OC, though. They are reared. They are ready to go. So we bounce our way into our first map of Championship Saturday for the CCL 2025 season.
Ooh, and already it's the side of Oklahoma Christian with the 4-for-1 trade to open things up immediately into the fray and immediately onto the hill. Early hill time for the side of the Christian boys, and right now you're trying to work inside of this if you're the Fisher Esports. Phantom's gonna get a nice 2-piece up towards this top side.
Yeah, you're just looking for any amount of time that you can possibly get. You're also looking for these P2 side spawns, which Oklahoma Christian has a couple of rise spawners over towards. You do have Prada working that back line, trying to create a lane for the rest of his team to operate with, but you're also having Fisher on the other side of the coin, particularly some good time their way off of P1.
Yeah, and this is just as mixy as you like here inside of a vault, Quinn. And I mean, for the side of Fisher right now, you're trying to have these 2 players work over towards the backside of P2, but right now it is Gus that kind of works around in the back lines of P2. Might be able to do something with the spawns, and ladies and gentlemen, it wouldn't be a BO6 final if we didn't have at least 1 reset, ladies and gentlemen. So we are going to at least get, you know, a nice look at the, you know, the venue here in these 2 teams. We do get word from the prod that we are going to be rejoining you. So a little bit of a false start, I guess, on our end, but we'll get right back into the action as soon as possible.
Yeah, we'll keep you guys honest, but again, you're looking at it. San Antonio, Texas. It's LAN, it's Championship Saturday. It is COD at its peak within the CCL, folks. You got these players playing right up against each other, and it's a beautiful, beautiful sight to see. We always love it. It's the Final Four. You also can see as well Northwood on the other side, just slightly to your left, playing up against St. Clair as well. These boys are all here, and they are ready to rumble today.
No, absolutely. And I mean, Quinn, from that early going, I mean, we didn't see too much that would really kind of tell us the tale of how that game may have played out. But I do think that both teams kind of playing very fast, playing a lot more active than we typically see. And especially on that P1, I was a little bit concerned about the way that Fisher was kind of worrying about that P2. You really only had 1 player over towards that side, and you also let Gus slip into the back lines of that. So going to be interesting to see who kind of came out on that P2 side, as these players are still in game. In chat, we are trying to get you right back in.
Yeah, it's very interesting that you point that out over towards the P2 side as well, because as we were getting disconnected, I kind of saw that everybody was spawning over towards the P4 art side of things. Nobody had won those P2 spawns yet, so you're looking at these 2 teams. Again, you know that it's going to be an absolute mix fest. You're looking at that P2 as a potential money hill. We know during the early portion of the season, it very much was that kind of money hill that we expect. It's kind of fallen off ever so slightly. P4 now the money hill of Vault Hardpoint, but both of these teams, I mean, they are going out to battle, and you expect it to be as mixy as possible for those spawns. We didn't get to see who actually got them, but I'm sure we'll be able to bounce back into the action soon and get a clearer picture for you guys at home.
Yeah, and honestly, if we're not able to get back into it before the end, I'm really just waiting to see one of these teams stand up and start kind of yelling at the other one, right? To maybe give us some indication of how the game is going. Almost wish that one of these players would just, give us a little score line here. I might have to text Parker back there, old Lord Punked. I might have to get in for you, too, chat. Might have to get a little insider information. But
yeah,
again, first matchup of the day, Quinn. And, I want to go back on what we kind of touched on in the pregame here. Fisher going to 3 separate map 5s yesterday. Obviously, only winning one of those series. And are we back in?
Hey.
We're back in, and Quinn, we're at zeros. It hasn't even changed, chat.
Playing 69. That's
nice.
Let's get it going. Here we go. P4 online. We talk about it. It's that money hill, and Oklahoma's getting some good kills off of it.
Good hills off of it. Obviously, we don't know how far into this hill we are yet because of our glorious Codcaster glitches, but Oklahoma Christian...
we know that there's less than 60 seconds. That's all you need to know.
That's true, Quinn. That is true. And I do know as well, 3 dead in the feed here for the side of Fisher, but you still have Cruz fighting his way in the hill. He'll keep the spawns for the side of Oklahoma Christian. It allows them to garner up that time. A 20-second lead heading into our second set of rotations.
Good looks from the New Zealand prodigy as he makes his way over towards that P1 side, looking for the justifiable kills as they try and fight their way through mid, but it's not going to be found. A 3-for-1 trade. It's going to favor Fisher as they will hold on for the time.
Yeah, I mean, this is just as close as you like. And Quinn, I feel like we really didn't miss anything, right, chat?
Yeah.
No real score differential as we are only 1 second away.
My God.
Cruz is starting to heat up, though, towards this backside. 14-13, make it 15-13 as he's on the 3 streak now. Shuts everyone from Fisher down and locks this P1 up. Oklahoma Christian now have to worry about this P2 side of the map, but Fisher, are they going to elect to re-hit this?
Yeah, still a taller task up ahead for the side of Oklahoma, but you're seeing a lot of aggression, especially namely from Darkside, who's trying to create a little bit of dimension to this hold for the side of Fisher. Oklahoma Christian might not be wiser to it, as Darkside will be able to find the first on the outskirts of the play. Fisher will maintain these P2 side spawns, but Oklahoma quickly converging.
Yeah, but you have to look at where Cruz has found himself into the backlines, and he was the man that broke down the whole play on side of the P1. Can he do it again here on P2? Phantom's a little snap and bap, and he'll find another one to go as well. Will meet his demise as Prada and Manny come through, but the trades come right back from Fisher. Mixie as you like here on P2, and still fighting from the back is Oklahoma Christian. Fisher Esports all around through the front side of this hill.
Yeah, Oklahoma Christian, you're going to do enough to secure these spawns, but can you find the justifiable kills to maintain them is the question. The streak's being dedicated to do so, as Manny will be able to find one, but the rest of his teammates are reduced to ashes quickly again off the respawn. Into Electric Boogaloo, you make your way on in, but you're absolutely minced to pieces by Phantoms with his gunny in hand. He's frying, and we've got a lead switch.
And that's another 4 dead in the feed. Everyone from Oklahoma Christian going to cut their losses here, move over towards this P3 side. Phantom trying to play the cutoff crossers here will be dealt with early. But look at where Bowl Cut Matt is starting to find himself. A little bit of information onto these players, and now working his way up into back art. Quinn, he might be able to shut everything here from Oklahoma Christian down.
Big shutdown. Brack will also find the follow-up. So now Fisher Esports, you're going to have the map control that you are looking for over towards this P3 side. Also starting to collect a little bit of time, as well as you have Oklahoma Christian all the way backed up over towards those P2 spawns. Cruz with the 6 says he knows that Brack is there, but he's not going to be able to finish his food. So Oklahoma Christian try to find their lane on in.
And that's so big from Bowl Cut Matt there, Quinn, because he's able to just slip through unseen, gets that first kill, secures the spawns, and now his team is starting to fry. You do lose out towards the hill, though, and now all of a sudden you look at Fisher, who's now starting to work their way through the mid area, and it's a fight for P4, it's a fight for P3, and all of a sudden it's turning back into a bang out, Quinn.
Now the turns can quickly table. Prada's trying to put them on skates. He'll do enough damage to this Fisher squad. It's going to, again, secure Oklahoma these good side spawns. Gus will play cleanup crew over towards P3 for the remaining scrap. P4 coming online here in Oklahoma Christian with an opportunity to turn things on his head.
And when we just had back into the gameplay, right, it was Oklahoma Christian that had the good hold off this P4, and you can see why. Good early rotations, even though they lose out on the initial spawns, able to fight back throughout that P3, lock this hill down, and are already finding good kills to open this up.
Now here we go on the outskirts of the play. Gus has the opportunity to blow everything up, finds the first, tags onto the second. That's going to be a wounded player making his way over towards the hill. Phantoms will be dealt with as well. You're able to mitigate the first push from the side of Fisher. Another lead switch imminent here. Fisher off the regain once again.
And trying to knock on the front door, but you are just meeting gunfire from Cruz, who's able to take down 2. A couple of mixy kills, though, inside of the kill feed as the lead switch does come through. Brack trying to fight his way in through the front door. He will be shut down, and it is just so hard to break into this setup, but maybe Bowl Cut Matt with a 2-piece able to do it.
That's your twin, baby. That's your
my twin.
Matt puts the team on his back, secures the lead switch once again, and we are just jockeying for position on this map. You have Oklahoma Christian, again, with that early rotation that you noted towards P4, now replicating it over towards P1, finding all the justifiable kills and flipping out Fisher over towards P2, as Prada is making his name felt over towards Top Cat.
And I feel like that's been the thing, though, Quinn, is every single POV we switch to, you never know who's going to pop the 2-piece next. Now it's Darside with a 2-piece of his own. Gus and Manny come right back for 2. Manny actually finds one towards the top. For Oklahoma Christian, another 4 dead, and things finally take a breath, Quinn, as it is Oklahoma Christian inside of this P1. But again, having to fight for it here. Prada may be able to get a streak here soon, which could be huge for the last part of this game.
If you're on the side of Fisher, you have to shut down these subs. When it's not Manny, it's Prada, and Prada is still alive. As you said, 1 away from the potential hellstorm to be called on in. He's doing everything for his squad. Finally gets shut down, but maybe a little bit of alleviation for the side of Oklahoma as they are able to find all the kills in response. Fisher will have the good side rotation over towards P2, but it's going to be quickly met with some gunfire from Oklahoma.
And you have number 5 and number 7 and Gus and Manny starting to work their way in through the back line. So you have a pinch starting to develop here for the side of Oklahoma Christian. They now have the back spawns as well. So now for Fisher Esports, you're a little worse for wear. You're not exactly sure where the hit is coming through. Having to readjust here, but you do find a kill to open things up.
This is a big opportunity for the side of Fisher. They can completely turn the tides once again for the upteenth time, but Manny's trying to blow it up from the backside, secures the good side spawns for the side of Oklahoma, but you have Phantoms and Bowl Cut Matt absolutely dealing their decks inside the hill. No access for entry here for Oklahoma.
And it is just 6 points separating our two teams as both sniffing over the 200-point threshold. You try to work your way on in, but Brack shuts it down. Prada from the top side able to find one, but it's all the scrap time that goes the way of Fisher. Now thinking about that P3 side of the map, starting to see a few players hit those rotations, but a lot of scrap time going the way of the Falcons. Could it win in the game right here, right now?
Phantoms on a solo mission, waiting for his teammates to rotate their way on in over towards P3 as it comes online. He'll be taken out of the play, but Darkseid able to find the retrade to go. Fisher is going to have good time off of this P3 side, but you're looking at the minimap, you're looking at who has actual control down the stretch. It's going to be Oklahoma Christian, but Fisher, they can win it here.
They can win it here, but look at where they're starting to spawn now, Quinn, on the outskirts of that P4 side of the map. And now you have to wonder, do you want to try to win it off of this P3? Do you want to try to rotate for P4? A lot of questions for Krisher, and right now, all Oklahoma has to do is hold.
Oklahoma, you're finding the justifiable kills within the hill to do so. Prada, just, that might be a puzzle too, Prada.
He's dancing.
You know what? Hey, he's doing his little dancey dance. Fisher back in for the time. Unfortunately, we can't tell how much time is left off of this, but Oklahoma Christian still maintains these good side map until Fisher makes their way on in.
And they don't seem to be pushing the action that fast, so there might be enough time here to work our way over towards P4. Again, it's all going to come down to the timing. How much is left on this P3, Quinn? We may never know. Cruz gets in, maybe saves it now. The pot opens up for the side of Fisher. You're not going to be able to win it here, but Darksiv from the back.
Whoa! Eddie Orton slithering out, RKO out of nowhere, and that might be the Fisher cuts their way on through. A last-second contest from Oklahoma is gonna fall on deaf ears. Fisher strikes first.
Oh my goodness, what a map one on a Vault hardpoint, Quinn. When we get to the hardpoint breakdown, I don't know how many lead changes we just saw. Oklahoma Christian and Fisher Esports putting on a banger. And ladies and gentlemen, you can absolutely see why we felt like this may need a few extra maps to get finished out.
Yeah, that's a bang out to start off our day. It's Championship Saturday, folks, and if you expected anything other than absolute cinema, I don't know what you are on. Fisher and Oklahoma are here to battle.
250 to 213, and really, Quinn, that last P2 of that last rotation is really what gave Fisher enough to try to push themselves out. We came back into the replay. We were still about dead even. I mean, Quinn, it felt like no one was able to get more than 20, 30 points ahead throughout the entirety of the game.
Yeah, and I feel like the P3 almost became a little bit of a sneaky hill for the side of Fisher because, yes, the P2 is where things start, but Oklahoma Christian were so dead set on playing for the map control, and it's the good thing to do, but you have to make sure that Fisher isn't just taking those cruddy little angles to get time off of P3 and that going uncontested. Allows them to really bellow the first lead that we saw at this map, and the first lead that we saw was in the downstretch of it. Oklahoma Christian, a little bit too little too late. You get the good side rotation over towards P4, but not before Fisher is within 5 of winning it.
No, absolutely. And I mean, for Fisher. You called it perfectly with that last play where Darksid able to slither up like Randy Orton. He hits the final blow and really kind of wins the game for his team. I mean, Oklahoma Christian, though, on this P4, and you could see why they wanted to play for it, Quinn, because every time we got to the P4, it was Fort Knox for the side of Oklahoma Christian.
Yeah, I mean, again, you just have to break in if you're on the side of Fisher, and you do it the last time, it is the charm. Oklahoma Christian, though, they play that so well, Matt. I think both teams played it well from different angles. You talk about the rotational gameplay, Oklahoma Christian, they had it every single step of the way, it felt like. But it really just came down to the pure brute force of Fisher. I mean, it's the might of the gunny. It's their ability, their breaking force on into these hills that really set the tone for them and able to play Mixie through the stretch. They take the first map on the board. And again, we talked about this team. You come off of a day where you are playing every game to a game 5. You are testing your stamina. The litmus test is in. The results are good, at least through the first map here.
I was about to say, at least for now, results through the first test are very, very good, though. 250 to 213 in a game, Quinn, that's very much like a 5-game series. That was a extended hardpoint. We had a break where we couldn't even see anything. We came back, and it was only 90 to 90, Quinn. I mean, these two teams were seemingly evenly matched throughout the entirety of that first map. But I think for Fisher, something so well to come out and start your championship Saturday on a good note, a grueling map like that you're able to come out on top of, not only good for that gas tank that we talked about, Quinn, but also so important for the mental.
And this matchup, right, this is the middle of the pack from the Final Four. You have Northwood over towards the bottom. You have St. Clair over towards the top in emphatic fashion from both sides of the equation. These two teams were gritty as hell yesterday. And I mean, we're just seeing it. We're seeing the results of it. These two teams so unbelievably evenly matched. And we head into this S&D now, a little bit of a slowdown. But you feel like with both of these teams and the moxie that they carry, this protocol search and destroy could quickly become a bang out. We always love to talk about it. The hit into the Batcave typically is seen for both teams, all the utility being a factor there, but I feel like these two teams are just going to want to run straight at each other.
I mean, it's going to really come down to, I think, which subs are able to find the routes, right? This map being a lot bigger than some of our other S&D maps in the pool, it just allows for those subs to find those open lanes the defense just cannot cover because of the size of the map, Quinn. So I'm looking for the subs of potentially one of these two teams to make that early round play, to get that early round first blood, and maybe kind of turn things on their side of the favor, potentially early on in a round.
Yeah, and I feel like the subs were the big impact players on the first map, especially on the side of OC. I mean, we talked about Prada. He was doing everything for his team. Looking to potentially see him as that route man for the side of OC as they try and claw their way back down 1-0. But hey, you got to go down 1-0 to make a 1-0 comeback. Here we go, folks.
And already, it is going to be Oklahoma Christian taking that map control over here towards the B side. Brack not gonna find the timing on him. I think he missed the player go right by him. He will be able to at least get the information, but not really sure where this player went. Gonna get shot in the back. 2 kills coming through from Prada and the sub that you just mentioned there, Quinn, making things happen early.
Hey, he's making me sound a lot smarter than I actually am, and that's going to be a tough task for Fisher up ahead. Bomb plant is quick and dirty over towards B. The other sub is Manny, and he is going to fry as well for one. Find the other as well. It's just the subs getting dirty in round number 1.
I mean, that is a clean 4 up, 4 down round for the side of OC, and it all starts because of Prada. He finds the timing onto Brack. He's able to find the shots to the back, and then he's able to shut another player down towards the backside of the spawn, and Manny's going to be able to clean things up. For the side of Oklahoma Christian, Quinn, something I really like there is we just got done talking about how it can be a bang out towards that bottom A site. They say, nah, we're just going to full send down Helly Street. We're going to get the bomb planted down on B almost immediately, and I think it confuses Fisher a little bit there.
It's still a bang out, though, from the side of Oklahoma. It's just Fisher wasn't banging it right back. It's just Oklahoma banging. Here we go. Onto the defense they will go. Fisher over towards the top side, trying to take a page out of their book. Not the wise play to be making, though, when the New Zealand prodigy lurks above in top blue for the first kill on the board for Oklahoma.
And that's a big first blood as well. With Manny down here in the back cave, you get a lot of information that there is no one towards the lower side. So you know this bomb is potentially wanting to make its way towards B. The only problem is now for Fisher, do you read Prada?
Yeah.
No.
This is a disgusting angle. He might get the sound cue here, and Phantom's just going to get blown up from behind. Cruz, though, is actually going to do the dirty work for Prada. Great teamwork there. You love to see it. For the side of Fisher now, you are in shambles unless you're able to take top blue. Brack with the exchange back. Bullcut Matt and Brack in the 2v3.
Bullcut Matt not going to know that there's a player immediately on the side of the other door. As Brack drops back in, where do they elect to hit? Out through the back door. The timings are going to make me throw up, Quinn.
Oh my
Manny
God.
comes back in, not going to be able to find it, but you only have 19 seconds to get the bomb planted.
Oh, and you just paid out Brack so perfectly. If you're on the side of Manny, it all comes down to Bullcut Matt. He's just not going to be able to get it done. Oklahoma Christian playing mental mind games with Fisher.
Oh my goodness.
That's ridiculous scenes there, Matt.
I mean, that is just when you know that you're feeling comfortable on a map right there, Quinn. That comes from practice. That comes from reps. And this Oklahoma Christian squad on protocol, this is absolutely nuts so far here through the early two. And you and I love to talk about mid-map adjustments. I mean, what do you do to adjust to this if you're Fisher? I mean, Oklahoma Christian's sitting in creddy corners. They're just catching timings. I mean, it seems like nothing that Fisher can really adjust that would help them match the play that Oklahoma Christian is bringing right now.
I feel like you have to stop overheating if you're on the side of Fisher, though. You've seen a couple of overzealous chows. Now you're going to have to find him over towards the back cave. You're able to find the first blood. Playing around that could be the adjustment needed.
Oh!
You're going to find all three. Now Cruz in the 1v4 with the bomb trapped in Narnia. This should be a round for the side of Fisher. They adjust very, very well.
Now Cruz trying to find any semblance of success here in this round. A couple of shoulders being thrown out from Phantoms, but this is just going to be a tough one for Cruz as he gets dropped. Fisher, first round on the board. And I think there in that round, Quinn, I think they just got back to a little bit maybe more stock standard where it's like, okay, let's just send a couple players to cut off the A cross. You get the first 2 kills to go through for you, and you end up winning the bang out of the back cave. In a big round for them, you stop the bleeding. You avoid going down 3-0 early on in this map too. And now
that's exactly what you need to do.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's my fault. That's exactly what you need to do on the side of Fisher. I feel like the last 2 rounds that we had seen prior to that, you're overheating a little bit. You're taking some overzealous chows. That's just a perfect cutoff play from Dark Civ. He's able to find the first. From that point forward, Fisher is just rolling.
Yeah, it's not like he's diving out going crazy, right? You're just playing that nice little cutoff. This, though, however, that may be a little bit overzealous from Brack. You chow the stair heady. You get taken out almost immediately, and now Manny might have got information onto these players wrapping through the spawn, so he's going to go and sit in the Prada spot. And these Fisher Esports players may be none the wiser, but Manny, oh, it's going to come down to the timing.
Oh my goodness. He's going to be the first line of defense. Fisher still just not feeling comfortable. Wherever you take it, you are just meeting pure bullet fire. They have you balked like a fish. If you're on the side of Fisher, truly, what can you do? Well,
oh, no.
we'll have to figure out what can you do after a little bit of technical side.
Hey, technical issues in Call of Duty. What's new, Quinn?
Name a better duo than that. It might Colorblind and Matman, but sure.
Nah, dude. I think they got us. I think that might be the greatest tag team of all time. Look, guys, coming into it, you see Matt there on the side of the screen, giving a little bit of a profanity there. Maybe not the great round for the side of Fisher. Couple fist bumps going either which way. Still not sure who really came away with that round, Quinn, but obviously we'll get back into the game as soon as possible. We'll get these scores right on the screen for you. But interesting matchup here throughout. Definitely seems like Oklahoma Christian has an edge so far in this SND. And coming off the back of that hard point, it's exactly how I want to see Oklahoma playing.
Yeah, I mean, they're just doing everything right. And for the side of Fisher, it feels like you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't to some degree. Every single thing that they have done, outside of that one round where Dark Civ again finds the first blood, you're just really getting trapped by Oklahoma Christian. They're playing so well off of each other. This is a roster that has been playing and clicking together all season long. For the side of Fisher, you've kind of had a little bit of switches and swaps around on your roster as well. That can't go without mentioning. So again, you're just looking at this Oklahoma Christian squad. They're getting back to the fundamentals after a close map number 1. Things looking really, really good for the boys in red.
No, absolutely. And I mean, Gwen, obviously, if Oklahoma Christian does come away with this S&D, we'll at least be seeing a map 4, and Oklahoma Christian do pop back into this, up 3-1 in the score line. 3-3 apiece in terms of lives right now. Working their way on over towards this A bomb. Gus potentially looking to get a plant down. Gotta watch out for these players starting to wrap through spiral. Oh no! Oh no!
Oh, the toesies of Brack and then the nade. Oh no! It all comes down to Phantoms in the 1v2. The overchal is in. That's just a disastrous scene for the side of Fisher. And it all starts with Gus finding the most disgusting shots. I mean, this man's going after toes. Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah, he's a menace out here on the map, man. He's gonna shoot your toes. He's gonna rip your shoes to shreds. But look, I mean, Quinn, obviously, maybe Fisher didn't want us to come back to that site. Maybe wanted us to wait till after that round. But nonetheless, Oklahoma Christian, they will take it and put it in the bank. Up 4-1 right now, Fisher Esports. As you mentioned before we got back into this after the reset, really, aside from the side where Dark is able to get that first blood and find a subsequent second kill, not a lot of success from the side of Fisher.
And you're going to want to bring it as a bang out once again. This might be an ill-advised play, though. You're able to get the 1-for-1 trade, but then Prada activates his second eye, finds his second kill. Brings it down to a 2v2, though. Phantom's doing everything for this team at this stage, but Prada, equally so, finds the one. All comes down to Phantom's looking for the ace within the round, but he has to go through Gus first.
Has to get this bomb planted. A couple of tags on for Phantoms. Might have to go on the re-aggression. It's a good play from Phantoms. Knows that he has the player weak. Goes on the rechow and is able to find it for the side of Fisher. And a much-needed round at that. Quinn, you may have stopped the bleeding, but there are still a lot of wounds to attend to being down 4-2.
Brother, I feel like I'm watching Mercules on Optic right now. Get some help for Phantoms. Get some help for Phantoms, bro. The rest of his team are just not showing up on this S&D. I mean, you get the ace there for the round. You can't be doing that at this stage. That can't be how you win rounds, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not sustainable. 7-4 right now. You look at it across 2, 1, and 2. He has more kills than everybody else on the team right now. You just need to see somebody else step up. You need to see Brack kind of come back to that performance. He is the player that makes or break it for this Fisher squad, too.
So much information gained from Phantoms. They're able to play around Darkseid with the first, immediately exchanged out, though, by Cruz. You're going to feel a little bit of pressure from the server.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
It's a little bit of it's Call of Duty, everybody. Do you expect anything else?
So Quinn, now you and I get to play our favorite game. We have to see who won the round off of the players' reactions. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'm going. Right now, I think the round's still going on. I think Fisher.
Yeah, Fisher.
You saw the smiles. I think they like that. So maybe Fisher only down 4-3 now.
Dude, we're doing our best Courage impression. We're doing the radio cast here.
Dude, literally, I'm casting without being able to see the game right now. I'm having to manifest it in my mind.
This is the ultimate litmus test as to whether you can read a human being's emotions
yeah,
or
dude,
not.
We're going all off of body language right now.
Hey, if you're talking about body language though, you're looking at Phantoms towards the backside. This dude is locked the in, bro.
Oh, I like that. I mean, look, you look at this Fisher squad down 4-1 once in this S&D, and now 4-3. Look at that, Clint.
You gotta go down 4-1 to make a 4-1 comeback. Let's go, baby.
I love it. But look at Fisher now. I don't know if they're going to read into Manny's positioning. He's going to be able to find the first blood. Huge for the side of Oklahoma Christian. Shuts this push from Fisher down. The bomb, though, still up towards the top side of mid, and you have made Oklahoma Christian rotate a lot of pressure towards this bottoms of the site.
Oklahoma Christian showing all their cards here at this stage, and that might actually play into Fisher. You do have the man disadvantage, which is what Oklahoma Christian has been playing around time and time again. You're going to have an opportunity to slip the net potentially. Brack finds his way forward. Still going to have to deal with Gus if you look to make the bomb plant over towards B. We'll have an immediate support system as well from Blue. Fisher, slow and steady over towards this site looking for the plant.
Still 35 seconds left to work with here. Don't have to necessarily rush things, but you do have Oklahoma Christian players starting to kind of accumulate around your positioning here. Cruz tries to find the shots on over as the bomb goes down, but so does Brack. So now for Fisher, you only have 2 players left alive to try to fight off this retake, and it is going to be so difficult. Trades come through, 1 player left alive, and the last one to fall. Defuse comes through, and Oklahoma Christian puts us on that point.
And what we just saw from Oklahoma Christian there is just ridiculous. I mean, these players play so well off of each other. I want to highlight Cruz. He should have died there. I mean, you have Fisher players in his back, his front, everywhere. And Manny just plays hero ball, saves his life. I feel like things could have really kind of started going off the rails there if Manny didn't have that immediate pickup. It's just, again, these players playing so well within their own, but not just within their own, around each other. And in S&D, I mean, that's exactly what you need.
No, absolutely. And I mean, you talked about it. It's this core four for the side of Oklahoma Christian that plays so well off of each other, always watching the crosses, always watching over people. And Quinn, did we get disconnected again? Oh,
nope.
No, we're back. Okay,
nope,
hold on. I got nervous, chat. I got nervous. I won't lie to you. Fisher, they can't get nervous now, though, Quinn. Need 3 rounds in a row to win this map.
I love what Oklahoma Christian is doing here. You know that you have so many chances at it. You're on the attacking side. Hey, you know what? Let's just bang out the back cave. Quick plant down over towards the A side is going to force Fisher into a very uncomfortable spot. In the spiral staircase, you find yourself. First line of defense will be Prada, but he'll be suffocated out by the nade. What a read from Dark Sived over towards the top side, though. Cruz is going to be able to equalize.
24 seconds left to find this defuse as well, so Fisher, you have to go and you have to go now to find this retake. The kills have to come through, and Cruz is still up here towards the backside. But Bull cutting out, and Phantom's able to find 2. You just can't let him kill the planner. You take out Cruz, and Fisher able to sneak around away.
Hello?
Give the defuse to your teammate for the streak, I think, but that was ballsy. That was a little ballsy there in that situation, but you get it. You get the defuse, you get the round, and now for the side of Fisher, you just need 2 more in a row to steal this one away.
Hey, again, now you got to go down 5-3 to make a 5-3 comeback, you know? Like, this might be the beginning. You're already up 1-0 in the series. An opportunity for Fisher to potentially catch OC off guard. But again, just the way that they've been playing these S&D rounds, Matt, it just feels like an inevitability that they're going to find that final strike. But not going to cast or curse it. Let's get it going.
Hey, they have the early lead. Fisher starting to make a late comeback, but did they dig themselves into too big of a hole? You're knocking on the door of this lower site, but for Oklahoma Christian, no one's home. So for Fisher, you might be able to get a free bomb plant here towards this A site. Bullcut Matt gonna go ahead and try to get that down as well. Now for Oklahoma Christian, 4v4 retake, now up, 43 seconds left to find that defuse.
Deja vu, though. I feel like I've seen this one before. It did go towards the defensive-sided team, and Cruz looking to take a page out of Fisher's book early. First kill on the board, and now advancing his way into the back cave with all the nades, all the utility being a factor here. Brack will be able to find one in the midst of the mayhem, though. You find your way forward, but nobody home over towards this backside. You're hopping on the defuse, and does Fisher read it?
They do, and they get all the kills to go as well. 3 up and 3 down. All of a sudden, we are headed to a round 11 in one of the most unexpected ways possible. Fisher has dug themselves out of despair, and now it is all down to 1 more round.
Resilience. It is the Fisher Esports bread, their butter, their everything in between. It is resilience. They are showing it at this stage. Can they close it here, go up 2-0 in our series in shocking fashion, or does Oklahoma Christian say, nah, mitigate what is starting to become a little bit of a disaster here, Matt?
Oh, and now Bullcut Matt with the RC car as well, potentially going to get that into the fray, rather Phantoms. See, it's going to drive this off the side and maybe see what you can do with a little Rocket League here in round 11. Finds a little bit of information there, nothing really to go. So for Fisher, still a little bit slow, still a little bit staggered. Not necessarily sure where you want to elect to take this bomb just yet.
There's going to be so much pressure over towards this blue side. Oklahoma Christian all collected up here. And if you're Fisher, you're going to have to find this opening blood. I feel like that's, at this stage, what this round is going to rely on. Playing the round the world strategy here for the boys in red. Over towards this B side they go. Fisher slowly but surely trying to take some map control into this A side.
36 seconds left as well. Now Manny with an RC car out. No, things are going to get really... Oh, no! He didn't die! He didn't die! He ate it! He ate it! Just 1, 2, 3. He ate it like it was a 3-piece combo with a biscuit. Now there's a team nade. Things are going awry. Bullcut Matt is able to find a kill. Fisher may be able on their way back. It's all on to Cruz.
1v2 for Cruz, where everything is falling apart. You got the tags in, but 26 seconds left. You've got to advance your way forward. You've got these Fisher boys breathing down your neck. An opportunity for a backbreaking play. 5-3 down. They close it 6-5 in round 11. Up 2-0 in the series.
One of the worst cases of the 5-3 curse that I have ever seen for the side of Oklahoma Christian, and a wild round 11 to end things out. An RC car that doesn't get the kill, a team nade.
That can happen, by the way. Like,
this is the craziest round 11 I have ever seen in my life. Oklahoma Christian has to be reeling after that one. What are the mentals like after that? 250 to 213, 6-5 in one of the most unimaginable ways possible. That leads us into a Hacienda control, and oh yeah, Fisher is 21-0.
Yeah, by the way, this would have to be breaking a glass ceiling that no team has been able to do all season long. For the side of Oklahoma, your hopes rely on a Hacienda control. You need the reverse sweep. Fisher coming out on Saturday looking like a completely different team, Matt. It's just ridiculous scenes, though, because, again, the way that they did it, it looked like Oklahoma Christian was going to put them into the blender, make a nice blue smoothie out of them, but instead Fisher says, you know what? We're better.
Look, you're down 4-1, then you're down 5-3. I mean, so many opportunities for Oklahoma Christian to just close this game out. But Fisher, they start playing off of each other a little bit more. They start playing a little bit weird. We talked about what they were going to do to find the adjustments. And Quinn, a lot of it came from just starting to win a few gunfights. Phantoms was really the only one being able to find kills through the early stretch of that map. You start to see players like Darksev, you start to see players like Brack start to come alive in the late half of that map and really turn things around.
Yeah, again, you desperately needed help if you're Phantoms, and you get it in the nick of time. Hey, it's not about what you do to start, it's about how you finish. We see it there, man. He's like, what the hell just happened? Sends in the nade on top of it, and this is just a disastrous placement. You overcook it ever so slightly. You find the team nade, which is a ridiculous spot, by the way, because he's around the corner. BO6 never made any sense, and we're seeing it here on this map, this mode, everything. Jeez Louise, my goodness.
Ladies and gentlemen, a wild, absolute cinema of scenes here for you between Fisher Esports and Oklahoma Christian. You saw the players get up. We're going to take a quick break as well, but don't you go anywhere. When we come back, we will head right in to Hacienda Control to maybe see if Fisher can close out this series.
Hey, we're talking about it in the green room. We might be witnessing the greatest 3-0 in Call of Duty history. This is ridiculous that we are at this stage right now, but on the side of Oklahoma, they're hoping they can bring it back. Unfortunately for them, hey, Matt, you're going into control, a mode that Fisher hasn't lost. Not a map, a mode that Fisher hasn't lost all season long.
Yeah, 21-0, absolutely untested, undefeated, and now it's what you have to beat them on. And if you even want to get to that Hacienda hardpoint, much less even thinking about that rewind S&D right now, Gwen, we hyped this one up. We said, look, yesterday they went 5 games. Fisher is always, going to these long game series. They played 3 of them yesterday. We talked about, was there anything that Fisher may be keeping under wraps because of the round robin style? Now here on Championship Saturday, it looks like they are bringing out the kitchen sink.
Hey, I feel like we're watching almost the same thing in a slightly different font, though. You look at those scores, you win it off of one rotation on a Vault hardpoint, you bring it back down 5-3 on Protocol Search and Destroy. This is not easy for the side of Fisher to get to this point right now. Oklahoma is giving you everything. They're also throwing the kitchen sink out the window, which is what we expect for both of these teams. For the side of Fisher, though, now you are sitting pretty. This would have to be breaking a glass ceiling, undone before to this point. Oklahoma Christian wants to keep their winners bracket run alive. Obviously, still a lot of ball to be played here on Championship Saturday if they aren't able to, but you don't want to have your back up against the wall this early on.
No, not at all, and especially, Quinn, with the way that they are losing these maps. You had a good lead inside of that first hard point towards the back end of things. You had a very solid lead up 4-1 and 5-3 in that S&D. You haven't been able to close out either map. So right now, the mental for OC. Big question heading into this. Fisher, they're feeling comfortable.
I love what you say about the mental there for the side of Oklahoma. Starting off on the attacking side, though, they'll have the opportunity to set their course early. Or towards the A side, they find themselves looking for those first bloods to swing their way. Instead, it's Darksev to open things up, Phantoms to follow up as well. Slow down this A push ever so slightly, but Prada's going to slip the net into the spawns. Create some separation, but he'll be shut down as well.
A good read out of Phantoms there, just to turn around, make sure that you watch the back lines. And now for the side of Fisher, you do a good job off the first break. Now for Oklahoma Christian, it's kind of about fighting back, trying to find a recuperate yourself, potentially find a 4 dead, but you can't even find a kill at the moment.
I mean, Phantoms is just going Super Saiyan to start off Championship Saturday. This man is here. We talked about it when those cams came on. He was leaned in. He's frying. The side of Oklahoma Christian, backed up into your own spawns. Manny has slipped the net, though. He'll find a kill off onto Brack, trying to create a lane over towards this B side, but now with the read, Phantom's looking to shut that down.
Phantoms not going to be able to spot the player towards the outer fence's side, and now Cruz able to slip into top plat. Only able to find one, though, as Phantoms immediately on the trade. Tries to go for one more, will be shut down, and a couple of trades that will go the way of the side of Oklahoma Christian now, maybe allowing them to get onto this A or B side.
First tick of progress is good. You still have to deal with Dark Civ, though. Respawns are in for the side of Fisher. An artificial pinch being created now off of it. You're going to look to get these kills and keep them off of this B side, but you find the first 2 ticks of progress here if you're on the side of Oklahoma Christian. Unfortunately, though, time ticking away into the red we go. You got to make good off of this B hit.
Shots coming in, Cruz not going to be able to find it, and now, again, as you mentioned, is the clock ticking away on you. Fisher Esports, all they have to do is hold, and doing a good job so far. Boldcut not going to play his life to get out of dodge, wait for the hit to come back through, as these players now trying to get through well, but are just being cut down at every single point. One more player over towards this A side may be able to touch, and a contestant over towards B as well.
A little bit of information overload here for the side of Oklahoma Christian as you're now over towards the A side. Your information overload, though, is shut down over towards B. That's a good kill onto Manny. But now if you're on the side of Fisher, you're just looking for one more clean wipe, an opportunity to end this round early. First tick of progress will be made over towards the A side. Last player on over towards B. You've got a little bit of a stack going here now for the side of Oklahoma Christian, so you look to keep things alive.
You try to keep things alive here in the round. You secure the extra minute. The life advantage, though, is the problem for them right now. Down 8 lives as Fisher definitely holding and has played better in this round. But that's huge for the side of Oklahoma Christian in terms of the ticks.
A tall task up ahead. Again, you talk about a 6 playing 15 now. Off the respawns, everybody goes. You got to make good on this A hit. It feels like you're not going to be able to win it off of the lives. Fisher, slow and steady, just trying to cover every single lane, every single angle, playing those cruddy positions. Puts OC on no respawns remaining.
4 lives and already try to make your way around through this rock side. But again, I mean, Quinn, just not enough lives here. I think you've done good in this round. 4 ticks for how you started off is definitely going to be considered a win right here for Oklahoma Christian. The problem is, though, Fisher Esports, we know the control prowess, Quinn, and them starting up 1-0 is not necessarily the greatest sign for Oklahoma Christian. They would have loved to come out and steal that offensive round.
7 seconds left. Mad dash over towards the A side. It's going to be shut down, though, by Bullcup. Matt finds the last 2. Fisher, first round on the board, the first blood. Fish in the water.
The fish, baby. The fish.
Oklahoma
Christian. Hey, Oklahoma Christian, though, they play well, I think, inside of that to be able to get that first site under their control and even a tick of progress towards the other site. But I think another thing that they're running into today is this is a completely different Fisher Esports squad than we saw yesterday, right, Quinn? I mean, yesterday, kind of getting battle tested a little bit, going into those 3 map 5s. You're only able to win one of these series. They come out looking for revenge this morning. Up 2-0 in the series, up 1-0 in the control. And you just need 2 more rounds to put it away in your best game mode.
The thing for Oklahoma Christian is how can you stop Phantoms? Brother had 11 kills in the first round. I really am watching Mercules right now. Fisher, making your way quickly over towards this A side. You find all the justifiable kills off of your opening break. Prada looking to respond, but not necessarily an impactful kill. It's still going to be Fisher over towards this A side with some decent map control off the break.
Manny with a good kill there towards that side as Fisher, as you mentioned, just kind of waltzing around right now, right? They seemingly are a little bit freer on the map, but it is allowing for Oklahoma Christian to just make their way right back in, get those 3 kills. No stack coming through for Fisher after those initial kills. And now for the side of Oklahoma Christian, you're going to be able to push into the spawns.
For Fisher, it's a good opening break, but it's a good break back from the side of Oklahoma Christian as you're now, again, as you said, bolstered up in those spawns. And Prado over towards this rock side is going to have a lot of players that he's going to have to play resistance towards. Not even going to be able to find the first kill, but that's going to set up Cruz to play the funnel tunnel over towards this door side. Now information being gained for the side of Oklahoma Christian on where this hit is trying to at least come from. They're doing a good job mitigating it.
Rod Trying to chase one maybe into the back lines there. Elects to just back on up, but he's going to have a lot of players around here. But Quinn, the time becoming the additional factor here. 17 seconds left. Fisher Esports have yet to hit a site. You're looking at your mini-map here. You're not really seeing anyone but number 7 close enough to touch. The body shots are starting to come through, and Oklahoma Christian may be heating up a little bit here in this round.
Hey, man, the Oklahoma Christian boys, they've got some moxie, and they've got some gutty as well. The New Zealand prodigy is starting to get after it when he is needed most. Cruz shines. You see all the smiles there from Oklahoma Christian. A perfect defensive round. Outside of the opening break, which again we go back to, Fisher, you find a lane over towards A. You're just not able to find any follow-ups to get there and really get anything done. And then from that point forward, I mean, it's just Oklahoma Christian putting BTA.
Well, and it was just really confusing for me because once they get that first initial 3-for-1 trade, I mean, you have multiple players that could start working the A site away. You have multiple players that either could just push up into office together and start locking down spawns. Everyone from Fisher just seemingly spreads out across the map. And Quinn, I looked at it there right at the end before the round goes away, and I'm seeing a Fisher player in the back of their spawn, a Fisher player in the back of OC spawn, a Fisher player on Rock. I was like, we're just doing around the world and so spread out away from each other.
Yeah, very uncollective assault there for the side of Fisher, but back on the defensive side where Brack is looking to fry. He'll be able to be good for 2. The third as well is going to completely shut down this opening break from the side of Oklahoma Christian. Still keep Prada flushed over towards this B side, but you're still looking for a lane here if you're Oklahoma Christian, and that's going to be easier said than done.
Kills come through for you, though, but you still have to deal with Dark towards this top secret side, as well as Phantoms, who continues to just be a problem, Quinn. 13-8, and now trying to find the shots through the fence. It's just a few tags that don't go his way. Now the kills start to come through from the rest of the boys in blue. Gus still here fighting. Gus not going to be able to do much, though, as Fisher Esports will collect the trades, but it does seem that Oklahoma Christian, they don't want to let this site go.
No, they're going to continue to apply pressure over towards B, but you're also seeing 3 players flush over towards the A side. It's really just a lone man effort for Manny, just trying to be the distraction. Contested time on the hill. Things start to get a little bit choppy, though, for the side of Oklahoma. So you're not able to find the kills over towards B. You're able to find presence over towards A, quickly dealt with by Brack. This Fisher team on defense is looking flawless.
And just the way they rotate in between sites is just it's art, Quinn. It's literally, this is a piece of art. We're watching them just able to Wittable cinema. They're easily just going between each site right now, but you do have to watch out. Look at where Oklahoma Christian, they're not watching their backside and who's sitting in the back. But Phantoms already able to open things up, but the trades are coming through for Oklahoma Christian right now. Phantoms is not spotting anyone. Now for the side of Fisher, you've got to start pushing this up.
Oh, and Cruz is just going to take it straight to him as well. Now that's going to put Fisher in a very awkward spot as they try and recontest their way on in. You have a player working from tin, you have a player working from the top side, and you win a 2-for-1 trade, but it's immediately responded to by Prada for 2, but he'll be shut down, as will the rest of Oklahoma Christian. 14 playing 15, 21 seconds left as they try and initiate over towards A.
Back and forth kills, always mixing in the kill feed right now as trades galore happening, but only with 10 seconds left. So now for the side of Fisher, you just have to hold. You just have to figure out where these OC players are. Prada's over towards the B side, still trying to do the dirty work there. 2 kills come through. Cruz is able to get another, and all of a sudden it's 3 dead in the feed.
This is putting Fisher on notice. Now you have to hit the panic button here again. This is a team that has been flawless on control, but they're getting taken to on this attacker side round from Oklahoma Christian. You get the extra minute on the clock. Now you get the rotation over towards the A side. Cruz working the top deck as well as creating so much separation for them to funnel on in.
And you still have that life advantage going your way as well, a 10 playing 6. So for Fisher, you have to start being worried about how you are taking these gunfights. You can't get into the trade battles with Oklahoma Christian. Gus towards the top side. Timing's not going to go his way. No one hitting that site just as yet, but good reads from Gus. Not going to be able to find any kills, though, towards that outside.
8 playing 6, now 7 playing 6. Hold on, wait a minute. Fisher might have the buzzer beater play in this round to keep things mitigatable. Oklahoma Christian not necessarily flushing their players over towards A, but that's just because you're taking so much space if you're the Fish. 5 playing 4, no respawns remaining now for Fisher. They're holding strong though for now.
You have 1 life extra if you're on the side of OC, but now you're starting to worry about the time if you're OC. You have to get onto this hill, starting to allow Fisher to play a little bit more passive. Now Prada trying to bait them out a little bit, will go onto the hill.
Huge.
Phantom gets taken out of the equation, and you're exactly right, Quinn. That's a huge kill to open things up. Now you're onto the site. Double stack is in. Are they going to be able to walk away with it?
And Fisher, you just have to go, and that's going to be exactly what Oklahoma Christian wants you to do. You work your way in. The aims is strong. Oklahoma Christian 1 round away from keeping their hopes alive and 1 round away from notching the first control win over Fisher all season long.
And you talk about it from how the first 2 maps have been played though, Quinn. We talked when we said that OC had the lead inside of the first map. They had a huge lead inside of the S&D, but yet are down 2-0 in this series. This is just the type of moment for Fisher Esports to start turning things up a notch, to start bringing themselves back into this series. Oklahoma Christian needs to end this right here, right now. Do not let this go to a round 5.
It's where boys become men. Oklahoma Christian, opportunity, their last lifeline. They're going to have 2 shots at closing out this map. The side of Fisher, though. You know that this team is icy on the control. What can they do on their attacking side? Last time, it was not a whole lot. This time, do they have a little bit of a different moxie, a little bit of a different mojo about them? Off the opening break, the answer is no for now.
Manny with the 2-piece to open things up. The trade should come through from Gus, and does. So now, for the side of Oklahoma Christian, you found that 4 dead almost immediately, and now they're all running into Prada, who's able to light it up for 2. Doesn't quite get the 3rd, but the damage has been done. Fisher Esports are now in the death trap.
This is tough. Oklahoma Christian, you have them right where you want them. You're just continuing to whittle them down one after another. 27 playing 23. You finally lose your first set of lives. Now Fisher finds their way through secret. At least one player able to slip the net. That's going to be Brack. But when you're trying to get through Cruz, that's going to be easier said than done. Lines them up for 1. Immediate 2-for-1 trade to follow up those. Time ticking away, and Fisher's got to go.
Cruz still able to do dirty work here from the stair side. Bowl cut Matt will get taken out of the fray as well. 24 playing 19 is now the Fisher Esports squad, having to worry about the time, having to worry about the life disadvantage. You're starting to get a couple of kills to go your way, though, over towards this B site. The double stack is in for now, but how long can you stay alive?
Just being peppered by bullets as well from the side of Oklahoma Christian. They have the ability to afford a little bit of a pause here on top of it. Justifiable kills, at least in the initial stretch here for Fisher. Next line of offense on in. Dark Civ is able to mitigate and keep his life, but on the other side of the coin, Oklahoma Christian is able to strike right back. Second tick of progress is good over towards this B side. Can they hold?
And right now you have a lot of pressure here for OC towards this B site, and you're starting to have more for Fisher. The players are starting to accrue, the kills are starting to pop through, and that might be the B site done and dusted. All on to A, 16 playing 14, Quinn, only 2 lives down.
And how the turns quickly table here. Again, this is exactly what we talk about with this Fisher squad. They are dirty, they are nasty, and they are dangerous. You have to put them away if you're on the side of Oklahoma Christian. Again, easier said than done. Rerouting their way over towards A. Brack first line of defense over towards the top side, looking to stop Oklahoma Christian from funneling their way forward. Not going to be able to.
That's a 3-for-1 trade. Huge for the side of Oklahoma Christian. Gives them a full 4-wipe lead inside of the kills, but also for Oklahoma Christian, you look at where they are map positioned now. A lot of Fisher Esports players spawning out in Narn. You are falling here, though, as you're trying to go for the spawn trap, and a couple players, as you love to say, Quinn, are starting to slip through the net.
Yeah, and for the side of Oklahoma Christian, you're kind of boxing them in towards the bottom side of the minimap. You're trying to find a lane over towards the middle portion. That might be through brute force for the side of Fisher as they find 2 kills. Next line of defense shut down. Manny is absolutely minced. And now for the side of Fisher, you're on over towards A.
Over towards A. Second tick of progress, surely solidified here. No one from Oklahoma Christian going to be able to touch in time for the second. Brada's just got to throw his life. Brada's got to go. They've got to get into this site. The shots are in. It's a 2-for-1. It's a 2-for-2. But Oklahoma Christian comes out on top ever so slightly. But all of a sudden, the 2-piece from Brack. No respawns remaining.
Brack breaking their back here in Oklahoma Christian has to fly forward. You've got to get in, but Brack will skeet shoot you out of the sky. Fisher brings it to round 5. Words are hard when you are seeing Gunny fry like that.
And how many times in these games and in these maps is Oklahoma Christian going to find themselves with a lead, and is Fisher going to dig themselves out of what seems like an impossible hole to get yourself back? And you called it perfect. I mean, dropping into your lap there for Brack. He's able to find those kills, shut those things down, and if he doesn't find that 2-piece there in through connector, that might be Oklahoma Christian walking away with that round. But Brack saving Fisher Esports, at least here in this map, and gives them a chance to end this series in this round.
Fisher on the attacking side, though. Not the favorable side. Oklahoma Christian, one last chance on defense. Opening break over towards A and B. A little bit of information overload. Dark Sived an opportunity to catch Oklahoma Christian off guard, but not going to be able to find the first kill. Now Fisher has to take a linear approach here, and they are getting gunned out of their shoes off the opening break.
This is exactly the break that Oklahoma Christian just had a second ago, Quinn. They're finding a few more kills, though, to add to it this time. Fisher Esports trying to figure out a way out, but right now you are just getting shut down at every single turn. Prada juking him out of his shoes and sitting him down on the stairs. All of a sudden, if you are Fisher, you have only found 1 kill inside of this round, and your lives are dwindling.
This is tough. This is tough. If you're on the side of Fisher, how can you regain when things are falling apart at the seams quite like this in the early onset of a round? 30 seconds left, quicker than you can blink. Fisher hasn't touched for any time, not even a millisecond. You're still backed up in your own spawn. You had one player, that's Brack, who finds his way over towards the other side of the minimap. He's not able to get anything going, and now Fisher recollecting themselves. Opportunity to hit over towards A.
Oh, Prada as well. If they hit towards A, sitting in the perfect little corner, if they are not able to catch him out. There are also 10 seconds left. Fisher, you have to go. You have to go now. You stop the time, but how do you find the kills here? Only one player on towards the hill, and now he hops off. 6 seconds left, right back on you go. Can Fisher hold on by the skin of their teeth?
It has to be picture perfect, but Cruz is going to shut things down. Brack may be an opportunity to touch on for the time, but the lone man over towards the hill has a little bit of support from the side of Bull Cut Map. The hill be cut down as well. It all comes down to Brack, and Fisher is going to lose their first control all season long as Oklahoma Christian shows the ice in round 5.
And I thought it was just going to be the same story in another map, Quinn, with Oklahoma Christian going up 2-1. You see Fisher starting to activate inside of that round 4, but it is the side of Oklahoma Christian that finally hits that nail in the coffin, gets them their first map on the board, and perhaps, Quinn, starts the road to what could be one of the craziest reverse sweeps we might have ever seen.
You gotta go down 2-0 to make a 2-0 comeback, folks.
This guy,
Oklahoma Christian looking to prove that here. Hey, that's the first building block, and it's through gritty means as well. You take a look at these series scores, man. I mean, neither team is winning it outright. Fisher, you go back to map number 1, it's just a margin of about 30 points. Protocol Search and Destroy, we know they go down 5-3. They're able to rally back. But Oklahoma Christian, I mean, throughout the duration of that Hacienda control, it really felt like they had most of the control. If you're looking at a map where a team has kind of dominated, you'd say that that game 3 was the first sign of it.
Yeah, I think a few dominating rounds, even though not a dominating score line to present itself. You go back to that map number 2, though, that Protocol Search and Destroy, round 11. The RC car sitting at the feet that doesn't get a kill. The team nade that ends up coming through. Oklahoma Christian even gets a little bit of luck inside of that round 11, and you could see them up 2-1 looking to put the series away right now. But that's just the way that Call of Duty goes, ladies and gentlemen. And Fisher Esports up 2-1 still, looking to hang on a little bit as maybe the tides are changing.
I feel like for the side of Fisher, you're really going to look at that first attacking side round where you were so good on defense, bro. So good. And then everything kind of just falls apart at the seams, right? You look at Phantoms, he started the game off 11-4. He only finds 1 kill within this entire round, dude. For the side of Fisher, again, things just kind of go awry. You're not able to stack that attacking side round the same moxie that you carried on the defense. And that's the way that Oklahoma Christian kind of took and exploited from that point forward.
No, absolutely, and you saw it right there. That might have been the turning point right there. When you start to see the body shots coming out of Oklahoma Christian, you can tell that they might have activated. They're hitting that second gear. And I think for me, Quinn, coming into a Hacienda hardpoint couldn't be anything better for them, although played astronomically differently. Coming into the same map that you just got your first win on in the series, it definitely doesn't hurt you coming into this hardpoint.
Cruz is having a generational series.
Oh, when does he not? When does he not?
Again, man, the New Zealand prodigy. He just never misses. This is ridiculous from his side of things. And the rest of his team complements him so well. I think the thing that we're talking about with this Oklahoma Christian squad to this point is the complementary play. I mean, this roster has been playing with each other all season long. For the side of Fisher, you've had a little bit of substitutions on in. You've had a slightly different roster depending on what point of the season you track back to. So Oklahoma Christian, as a collective 4, are just playing at a different level at some points, it feels like. Fisher, all things considered, again, you are up 2-1 in the series, so you are still looking real good. But it really feels like a lot is going to come down to this Hacienda hardpoint we have coming up next.
No, 100%. And I think you mentioned it as well, that both of these teams being, you know, what we call the quote-unquote middle of the pack in our top four. Number 2 and number 3 coming out of the round robin yesterday. With both of these teams dropping to St. Clair and both of these teams having win over Northwood, it really came down to that map 5 to decide who was going to have the 2-1 record coming into today through the round robin. So when we talked about these teams being evenly matched coming into this game, I mean, that we hit the nail on the head with that one, Quinn, because right now you're seeing it across the board. 250 to 213, 6-5, 3-2, coming into a Hacienda hardpoint, which we can only expect should be another barn burner.
Hey, man, with what we've already seen, this series promises nothing more than absolute cinema on Championship Saturday, live from San Antonio, Texas. We welcome everybody into the chat from the Zinni Raid as well. W Methods, we love you. This is ridiculous, though. Again, what we are seeing here, it's the height of college Call of Duty. It's the cream of the crop to close out the BO6 season, Matt. It's just everything that you could ask for and more. But again, you're looking at this right now. Oklahoma Christian, you've started the building blocks to get back into the mix of this, but you still need the full reverse sweep. Job not finished. Fisher's still going to have 2 tries at it.
No, and I think that's kind of the mindset that you have to take into this next map if you are Fisher. Just get that control out of your mind. Look, we have 3 straight opportunities to put this series away. We didn't hit it on the first one. Let's hit it on the second one. Let's not let this go to a map 5, because Quinn, if this goes to a map 5 with how these games have been playing out, I couldn't tell you who had the edge going into.
And I think it's an opportunity, though, for the side of Oklahoma Christian, really. I feel like this could be the metaphorical before the literal dagger, as I always love to say. The Hacienda hardpoint, if they're able to take this, Matt, they're riding a 2-win streak on maps. And especially if they're able to take it in convincing fashion, you go into that rewind, search, and destroy, you're talking about who has the momentum. It would have to clearly be Oklahoma Christian. But you're talking about how S&D went. You didn't see them have the ice on the second map. So all things considered, yeah, you're absolutely right. This could go any which way.
Well, and I think coming into that last S&D, if we do get there, if Oklahoma Christian is able to win this, you have to look at that first S&D as a fluke, right? You were up 4-1, you were up 5-3. You should have won that map, especially with the way that round 11 played out. Oklahoma Christian knows that they have an edge in S&D. They just have to close out and finish with something that we saw them do in that last map. Hopefully they can do it to continue out this series. For Fisher, you're looking to end things right here.
Here we go. Opening breaks. Fisher, Oklahoma Christian, back against the wall for Oklahoma Christian. They've got to give it their all. The opening break is good to start things off.
Back and forth kills is Brack trying to open things up ever so slightly with the 2-piece, and now it finds a third to go along with it, as Fisher Esports going to continue to just soak up a little bit of this P1 time, but you do have to worry about the players from Oklahoma starting to work their way around through this Lambo side.
I don't really like what I'm seeing out of Oklahoma Christian here. You are giving up so much time off of this P1 for Fisher. They're just soaking it all up. It's the super soakers, and now they're finding justifiable kills on top of it, Matt. The first 30 seconds are going to go their way, and that is a sizable lead between these two teams in any situation.
Yeah, and you just put a lot of pressure on yourself to make this rotation happen, right? You make a lot of pressure on yourself to find an early break and hold this P2, because you've just given up almost a full 60. Fisher, the first one's here, but do they read into Manny?
Manny from the water side will be able to be good for one, but not the other. It's a pinstripe kill feed that Prada is going to break up. Good plays there from Oklahoma Christian. Now they set up in the Lambo side of things. Cruise another justifiable kill to further separate from Fisher.
Shots in from Prada will be able to find one. The trades will come through as well. Brack, the last man standing, will get taken down as the Fawns flip out. Now for the side of Fisher, spawning over towards that rock side, has to find their way back in through the front. Oklahoma Christian, though, doing a very good job so far at this P2 hold, but that's a big kill from Phantoms.
Absolutely. I mean, that could have completely blown everything up for the side of Fisher. Now you have a linear support that has an opportunity to press forward. Cruz, though, will try and bolster them down in the hill. Not going to be able to get it to go, though. Eventually, it will be responded to by Gus, so a sea of red is met with success for Oklahoma Christian. But Fisher, I mean, they are bringing it straight to them.
46 to 36, a big bounce back from the side of Oklahoma Christian after that first hard point, Quinn. So like we said, they put a lot of pressure on themselves on that P2, but they do well. Now heading into this P3, you have Manny up towards this plat side. Is he going to be able to find any kills? Nades in, not going to be able to find anything just yet. Couple of tags in, but a contested hill as the field starts coming through for Fisher.
And Matt with the brilliant rotational play. Catches them completely off guard. Now favorable kills for the side of Fisher. As you're trying to find the last one to justify your map positioning, tracing him into the tin side. But now the spawns flip for the side of Oklahoma. Hit 2 Electric Boogaloo comes forward. They're able to break on for at least a couple seconds of time.
Darksim giving nothing but tags right now, but I love this play. Down below, is he going to be able to find anything? Oh, gets shut down on the other side of things. Trying to find their way back. Oh, but Oklahoma Christian still looking staggered, finally going to find their way in, but you're already starting to think about that rock hill and now having to worry about the rotations.
Yeah, and you're moving at mock speed or PowerPoint speed. We'll have to see as things clear on up ever so slightly over towards the rock side who's going to have it. And it will be Fisher once again with another good rotation. Prada, first line of offense. On the other side of the coin, it's going to be Gus falling. Trying to create a little bit of dimension to the play. It's not going to be rewarded. Now sliding through the door into the grinder you go. As Fisher holds on for the time.
Still have Gus here towards this back line, but no one challenging off hill from Fisher, so you were going to have to find this the hard way. Oklahoma Christian just watching the time start to slip away from them, watching the kills start to go away as well. Brack able to pop for 2, the hill still being locked down over the 100-point threshold. It will be Fisher going first.
Here we go, Oklahoma Christian looking for the scrap, though. They're not going to go away without a fight, but it's going to be the brute force technique once again from Fisher, this time not rewarded. Prada and Manny, those subs activating when you need them the most for the scrap and an opportunity to press into the spawns as well. You see Prada start to fly forward. Justifiable kills found once again as he just continues to be the thorn in the backside. 9 and 9, he is doing everything.
From the top side, able to take out another one as the rotations towards this P1 start to ensue. It'll be Oklahoma Christian that's finding the opening kills and finding the opening time. Trying to potentially cause a lead change here as Fisher looking to work towards the backlines of this P2. Curse kill in from Darth will be good. Lead change is not quite in for OC just yet. Fisher's holding on to it by a thread. No one really wanting to dive in just for the time yet until Cruz able to do so himself. But right back up the top, he may be going for more here, Quinn.
Ooh, not going to be able to get it rewarded, but this time Oklahoma Christian playing this P1 as if it actually exists. Last time we saw P1, Fisher made some good time off of it, completely uncontested from the boys in red. They're looking to continue that as lead switch back and forth we go, jockeying for position. Oklahoma Christian not going to be able to find the lane on in. It's kills from Fisher that further solidify.
And this is exactly like that vault map one, isn't it, Quinn? I mean, we are as close as you like. 111 to 100 heading into our second P2. Oklahoma Christian does have some good map positioning and some good kills from Cruz. Lines it up for 2, and that shuts the entire rotation down. And it should lock this P2 quite handily for the side of Oklahoma Christian, at least through the initial time.
I mean, look at how much space Fisher has to take. It's just Cruz batting down the hatch down mid. He's going to have Bolka Matt walk right into his crosshair. Not going to be able to get it go. Brack going for a swim as well. You have to be mindful of that as the onslaught comes in for the side of Fisher. You're able to deal with it, though. If you're on the side of Oklahoma Christian, finding the kills. Dark Sived and Brack trying to find a lane. It's just not going to be found.
Brack, though, not going to be able to find the second kill either, and now the lead change surely in for the side of Oklahoma Christian as one-dimensionally through the front. Cruz will shut everyone down. Oh my God! Cruz for 3, and now on a 5 spree to 4 as well. The absolute nuke inside of this map. He is going off for Oklahoma Christian.
Families, Cruz. You can't be doing this to them. Oh my goodness. You finally shut down Cruz, but the plays around him are so good. Again, just using this unit that you know is a hive mind to pure perfection. Now the rotation for Fisher over towards the P3 side. It's going to be completely blown up. Brack, the last player standing from it, is going to be shut down.
And Oklahoma Christian starting to hit their stride as Cruz is starting to play the game he wants to play. And now look at Prada wanting to get a little bit active here up and through the outside. Will be read into, though. Fisher Esports finally gets a 3 dead in the feed to shut things down and slow things down ever so slightly. Gus from the top side will do a little bit of damage, and he might be able to turn a few heads as look where Oklahoma Christian is coming from.
Oh my goodness. The last time we saw this P3, I mean, Fisher made such good work out of it, and they're looking to do it once again. Oklahoma Christian, it's a tall task to try and break through the might of the fish over towards P3. 3 kills in the feed once again is going to stall the assault as Oklahoma Christian decides to turn tail over towards P4. First player over is going to be Manny, but he's going to have 2 players hitting from either side. A good read onto Matt is going to be for naught. As Fisher once again have another rotation.
And that's 3 dead again inside of the feed. All of a sudden, Fisher starting to settle in a little bit, starting to kind of fight back against this Oklahoma Christian press that has been on through the last few hard points. Fisher Esports now looking to solidify themselves in the driver's seat as the first hit comes through, and Manny's able to find one. Traded out by Bullcut Matt, but now the last one standing, and that is the quickest 4 dead you will see inside of a hard point.
Great break from Oklahoma Christian. You see Fisher, they are spawning out an absolute Narnia, ripe for the pickings as Manny has that middle portion of the map secured, but he'll be shut down as well. The respawn will be good enough in time for Oklahoma Christian to recontest their way on in, but Fisher starting to find a couple of kills. Through the door you go, and again, the brute force technique will sing true to them. 4 dead in the feed, and Oklahoma Christian right back off the respawns.
And it's just easy for them, for both of these teams. The break seemingly coming at ease. And now towards the new hill, Prada doing the dirty work. Looking to maybe enter for this little bit of scrap for a third. No, my goodness, Quinn. All right, look, we've got to calm down. 194 to 178. Oklahoma Christian trying to make the comeback happen. Into our 3rd set of rotations. Down just about 10 points. How do they fight their way back?
Again, we've talked about it. This P1 has been so good from the side of Fisher. Every single time we've seen it come online, they've made so much good time off of it. Neither team can win it off of this hill. As far as we know, again, we can only say that there's less than 60 seconds on the hill, but Fisher is holding things down at this stage with all the justifiable kills, but here comes Oklahoma.
2 kills inside of the feed. Dark just trying to play the credit corner, just trying to wait for the hit to come through, but it's a 4 dead in the feed for Oklahoma Christian as they now try to force the issue into the spawns. Fisher still holding the P2 side of the map, but no longer holding control of P1. And look at where Prada has already found himself in towards this new P2 side.
This is so good from Prada. I mean, again, the rotations when they are needed most. Oklahoma Christian playing them to pure perfection. Also getting some good time off of this P1. Nades over the top. Not going to find anything. And as we say it, though, Prada is going to fall over towards P2. Luckily exchanged right back out. It's a jockey for control over towards this P2 side off the rotation. It's going to go at least for the time being over towards Oklahoma Christian, but Fisher quick in tow.
And Fisher has done a lot of work to clear out this lobby side, clear out the back side, and now look at where they're trying to elect to hit on from. Brack will hit through the back, but a team kill comes through. All of a sudden, Oklahoma Christian know that they have to watch their back. Manny with a turn and burn to turn right back and find 2. Oklahoma Christian shut the push down, and now Fisher fighting out of the back lines, trying to just fight out of the irons here as Oklahoma rushing to the 250 mark.
Manny is doing everything for them at this stage too. Here we go. This could be the final moments of map number 4, an opportunity to punch your tickets in to a game 5. Fisher, last line of offense on in, a 1-for-1 trade immediately mitigated from the side of Oklahoma Christian. They tucked them into bed. Last second contest might be there in time. No, Oklahoma Christian sends us to game 5.
Icing up twice in a row from the side of Oklahoma Christian, once in control, now once in hardpoint, and has evened us up at 2 games apiece. And the side of Fisher looking a little bit stunned as Cruz starting to activate inside of that map, Quinn. When we go back and look at the highlights, it might be just a Cruz huddle highlight tape.
Dude, the Kiwi King. I mean, he is doing everything for his team this stage of the map. You talk about it, though. It's the same thing, a slightly different font. A scoreline of 250 to 215, 250 to 213 in favor of the Fish on map number 1. I mean, it just comes down to that final rotation once again. These two teams so evenly stretched between the two of them. We head into this rewind, search, and destroy. We want to talk about everything when it comes to this, everything on the line. You don't want to start off your championship Saturday getting punched into the loser's bracket in a game 5. For the side of Fisher, though, this is just all too familiar.
It's all too familiar from the side of Fisher, and you talk about not wanting to go down inside of another game 5. Already having 3 out of 3 series go the distance yesterday, and now making it 4 for 4 here at this LAN so far, Quinn. We talked about what was the gas tank for Fisher like, how was the mental resiliency going to be for them heading into this series, and now all of those questions going to be answered in just a few minutes here on this Rewind Search and Destroy.
And I feel like whenever we see Rewind Search and Destroy, obviously the late season edition within the Search and Destroy map pool, so much of it rides on the first blood. You go back to the Protocol Search and Destroy, that's exactly what Oklahoma Christian was playing every single round. Throughout the entire duration, it felt like they had those first bloods. It was just Fisher in that last round getting super lucky that Manny's car is apparently just made of springs instead of actual bombs. I mean, you're looking at Oklahoma Christian, you're saying, hey, we have the momentum. Not only that, we battled it to a round 11 that we shouldn't have lost, all things considered. This feels like they have the perfect opportunity to close this out in a reverse sweep fashion. And for the side of Fisher, you saw it on their faces, looking a little bit demoralized at this stage.
No, and 100%. I mean, from the side of Fisher, you talk about the mental resilience coming into this. Well, I mean, you had a great lead through the early half of that, and that's where it got turned on its head, right?
Yeah.
When Cruz started going absolutely nuclear, making his way over to this hill as well and able to find kills. Proc starts to heat things up with the SMG in hand. Oklahoma Christian just finds a way to battle back. You see, even for Fisher, you're leading here late in this game. Right at about the 2:15 mark is where that switch came through, and Manny with the play that absolutely won it for OC here inside of this P4.
Yep.
I mean, look, Oklahoma Christian right now has everything with them. They have the momentum, they have the gunny, they have everything going their way coming into this S&D, and as we mentioned before, the last time you played an S&D against Fisher, you should have won it. You're up 4-1, you're up 5-3, you have the wildest cinema of round 11s you will ever see, and it has led us right now for this Oklahoma Christian squad to have to win one more map if they want to be able to walk away with this series.
Yeah, again, you're just looking at this Oklahoma Christian squad. You've generated so much momentum through the last two maps. Fisher, you have had to fight tooth and nail for every single map that you have. I mean, both teams have had to, all things considered. We talk about it, two of the middle of the pack teams. This is going to be as gritty as it gets within the CCL side of things, especially when we get to Final Four. One of these teams going to be knocked down into the loser's bracket when all is said and done. And an opportunity for Oklahoma Christian to start the reverse sweep and close it here. Folks, we're going to go ahead and send it to a very quick break. Do not go anywhere, though. Map number 5 coming up in a matter of moments. Coming back at you live from San Antonio, Texas for Championship Saturday. The two teams that you are looking at on your screen right now have battled their way to a Game 5. Rewind, search and destroy. Fisher Esports, Oklahoma Christian. Winner of this advances on to play the winner of Northwood and the St. Clair Saints. Loser is going down into the losers bracket on Championship Saturday early.
And not a way that you want to start out your Championship Saturday already with a tough map 5 losses, ladies and gentlemen. That is where we are headed. Rewind S&D, the venue, Quinn, between both of these teams, and it's been what a wild way to get here. Started off the series 250 to 213 and 6-5 for the Falcons, and then you flip the script, and all of a sudden Oklahoma Christian comes firing back 3-2 inside of the control, 250 to 215 on a Hacienda barn burner to lead us here, Quinn. Any inclination onto how this one's gonna go?
Hey man, you go back to that protocol search and destroy, we talked about it, right? The way that Fisher was able to win that, I mean, first of all the fireworks, all the RC cars blowing up, but not actually, I mean, ridiculous the way that they were able to claw their way back into that, a 5-3 reversal of the script. But a round 11 that we could argue should have gone the way of OC if a couple of things had gone as we expected to. But as PO6, we never meet our expectations. That being said, they started things off so hot and hard on the rewind search and destroy, or excuse me, the protocol search and destroy. Heading into this rewind search and destroy, it feels like an opportunity to do the exact same thing, but this time have a little bit more of a closing fashion with it.
Trying to have a closing fashion here and trying to close out this series. Early nade coming over the top side. You got to watch your head here on Rewind. Oklahoma Christian going to have to back up ever so slightly here with Prada as a couple of stands and nades come over towards his side, but nades coming right back, and it's just an absolute nade fest.
Yeah, they're just peppering them with them, and this is exactly what you want to see out of Oklahoma Christian. Again, playing around the first blood. However that looks, it's exactly what they do best, but immediately responded to, it's Phantoms, the man of the hour for 2. To immediately send it right back the way of Fisher. In terms of the man advantage, Brack will collect a third. It all comes down to the Kiwi King in a 1v3.
If there is anyone who can, it would be this man. Trying to work his way around through the pack, maybe trying to hit a little repositioning here. See if he can't work his way along into the flank. And this is going to be interesting to see if Fisher reads into this. You have a few players still left alive here to deal with. Works his way on in. Still hasn't quite been spotted just yet, but I think that's the information garnered.
Yeah, they should see him sliding on through. You're seeing all the arrows turn in his direction, the shoulder, death from above on top of it. It's just the top rope, and it's a matter of time. I mean, this is a tall task. You're just hitting the shooting gallery, and if you're Cruz, you say, hey, you know what, buds? We'll try again next time.
Yeah, Cruz is, well, yeah, I think he's just gonna, he's running off the map. He's gone. You'll never see him again.
All right.
Gone forever. Fisher Esports taking
I see him
the
right
first
there.
round. Oh, well, yeah, that's true. The good-looking man himself down there at the other end for the OC squad. But obviously, inside of that round, I mean, Quinn, not a lot he can do there inside of the 1v3. They are all around each other. It's a perfect post-plant setup to be able to watch every single angle. And Cruz just has a few too many teammates drop there towards the early side.
Good looks out of the Fish. Heading into our next round here, Oklahoma Christian, bomb in their court now. An opportunity to respond. All things considered, when we saw the first search and destroy, I mean, it was Oklahoma just taking out the belt early, making good action off of it. So Fisher setting the first building block, setting their first opportunity to really collect a couple of rounds within this.
And ladies and gentlemen, I do believe we did disconnect once more. So Quinn, unfortunately, we're gonna have to go back to the game we were playing during the first S&D, which is, can we guess who won off the body language? Chat, want to see your predictions here in the chat.
I think that's a blood. That's a blood for Fisher.
Oh.
And that
that looked identical.
There.
Yeah, Matt looked happy. My twin looked good. Let's go for
I'm
Fisher.
putting the house on Fisher. I'm putting the house on Fisher.
The house on Fisher up 2-0.
Yes,
up 2-0.
absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. I like that. I like that prediction. So, prediction-wise right now, chat, 2-0 up. We're hoping to, of course, get you guys back gameplay as soon as possible. Not a lot that we can really tell you as much about that map 5, but again, Quinn, through the early stretch of that series, I mean, Fisher looked very good inside of the first Vault 1 map hardpoint. They started playing really fast and really together. Inside of the next one, though, the Protocol S&D, it didn't necessarily look like they were going to be able to bounce back in that map.
Yeah, no. Again, this is just, it looked tough. It looked tough. It's really tough to tell. I mean, what we do know is that they're both sides. I mean, they are as locked in as ever. You see the posture. You see them posturizing. This is good looks. I'm just excited to see who's up right now, Matt.
I think Quinn is just locked into body language right now.
Dude, you passed that to me, and I was like, wait a minute.
He's so locked in. He's so locked in. I mean, well, from your perfection, your expert analyst, what's our scoreline looking like right now?
Well, it's currently 3v2 in favor of Oklahoma Christian. They're looking so calm and collected.
There's no way.
Matt is so locked in, dude. Matt is so locked in. I think he's gonna will the team back. I think it's him and Phantoms in a 2v3. You hear the comms from Matt. You don't hear them, but you see them. Dude,
are you seeing reflections? Are you seeing reflections off of somebody's glasses right now?
Dude, I'm in the fifth dimension right now. Not even the fourth dimension can secure me.
I love it. We do get word from our producer that we are loading back in now. So hopefully we can get you guys gameplay and not Quinn's imagination of what may be going on the map right now in Call of Duty, judging by off how the players are reacting. But does look like OC may be down at least a little bit from the last time that we checked, and from the body language that Quinn, has so graciously given us your expert opinion.
I'm putting my mortgage on a 3-0 in favor of Fisher when we bounce in.
He's put the mortgage on it, chat. Oh my lord! All right, you know what?
Big bet. But you got to bet big to win. Pressure makes diamonds, and I love pressure.
I trust you right now. You know what? I will go with you here. But if they're not 3-0 up, it's only your mortgage that gets lost. So it's okay, ladies and gentlemen.
And my house.
Hopefully, getting back into this one very, very shortly. Obviously, sucks that we're missing a map 5 right now, but nothing you can do while Call of Duty presents some of these issues. Quinn, anything new from the body language expert over there? You noticing anything up? You think OC found a round?
Feeling like that this is a round for OC right now. They're looking to bounce back. They're currently down 3-0. By the way, for chat at home, it was 1-0 in favor of Fisher last time, so we're fully in the deep end right now. That's where Fish fry. They have an opportunity here, but I'm feeling like this is going to be the response from OC that they need.
Of interesting. I mean, we're just trying to look at them here, trying to see if we can. We need somebody to at least give us we need Parker in the back to write up the scorecard. You know what I mean? He needs to have one of those old school when you were in elementary school, they had the little flipboard scorecard. We need one of those so he could just flip between each one, right?
Parker might actually be the best one to read on in terms of the.
We might have to be looking at Lord Punked.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying, man.
Well, he looks stressed right now. I mean, he's watching his team play inside of a map 5. I mean, anybody would be stressed.
Yeah.
Looking at this here. Hopefully we can get back into this one very soon for you, chat. I know you're tired of hearing us yap and yap away.
Trying our best to keep it home for you guys. Again, just a couple of production side issues, but that's just going to happen. We love our production to death nonetheless. I mean, you see everything that they are doing on the back end. It's impossible to be perfect. We love them to death nonetheless. And hey, we still got a great kick-ass venue cam, so this is beautiful.
Absolutely. The CCL setting it up. Loving to have LAN scenes out here. Obviously, look, coming into this, the top 4 teams from the year. Quinn, we had so many teams at the start of that last playoffs. Brought it all the way down to 4. And those are the 4 teams that have been graced to get to go to this LAN. And hopefully, we'll crown one of them. We did just get an update for you guys from our main man, John Prosper, who says 4-0 up for Fisher.
Dude, I told you! I told you!
Quinn now has 2 mortgages. Quinn now has 2 mortgages. He put his mortgage on it.
I'm betting the first one. I'm betting the first one right here. Another round for Fisher.
He's going 5-0 up for Fisher. This is insane, chat. This is insane. The Fish right now dominating. And again, chat, we do apologize to you that we can't get you the gameplay. Obviously, just B06 issues. But the Fish right now has seemingly locked in here towards this map 5. 4 straight rounds in a row to kick off this map. But Quinn, if we have seen anything, no lead is necessarily safe in this series.
Oh, no, absolutely. Again, we talk about the Fish and their ability to come back. It feels like Oklahoma Christian could very well do the same thing. It's never over until it is over. The Fish, I mean, you're seeing a couple of faces turn a little bit sour here. This might be the response round needed from the side of Oklahoma Christian that we are seeing, not seeing, but watching develop on their faces. Great looks. I think that's Oklahoma.
Oh, no, yeah, Oklahoma Christian 4-1 now. Finding their first response, finding their first round on the board. As, chat, we are literally casting from John Prosper updates from InVideo right now. So I hope you appreciate what we're trying here for you. Hopefully trying to entertain you a little bit, as I understand not a lot of gameplay action going on right now. But the Oklahoma Christian squad just finding their first round on the board here, Quinn. Is it the start of a comeback, or is it just a sporadic round inside of a Fisher domination?
I think a wise man once said,
oh, no, here we
gotta go down 4-0 to make a 4-0 comeback. For the side of Oklahoma Christian, that's your first round. An opportunity to keep them throwing through. But for the side of Fisher, you see these boys, they are going to get punched in the face, and they're going to lock in even further. Look at Matt's posture, my guys. This dude is as close to that monitor as you can possibly get.
He looks like Illy right now. Do we have gameplay? Oh my goodness. We're back in. We're back in, ladies and gentlemen. Oklahoma Christian on the attacker side. Bomb in their hand. Down 3 rounds. Trying to push it potentially up towards this B side, but it's a double team nade. Shutting everything down and leaving Prada all on his lonesome to stop the Fish. Has to find this round or it's match point.
Brother, the amount of just divine intervention moments in favor of the Fish. If I'm Oklahoma Christian, I'm going to stop throwing nades at this point. I don't care about my opening break. The nades just are only hitting red.
I mean, look, man. I think even Phantoms is starting to talk a little bit to him there. I mean, he's saying you guys got to learn how to throw your nades, man. I mean, you're aiming for the team in blue, not for the team in red. Unfortunately, another dire team nade that comes through, shuts Oklahoma Christian down, and basically just gifts Fisher the round for free. And what could have been the difference between 4-2 and 5-1, astronomical.
1 round needed. Fisher, an opportunity to punch their tickets forward. 1 away from the grand finals they would be. They're going to have a lot of chances to do it. First blood is going to swing their way. Oklahoma Christian now. You've gained a little bit of access into the video store. Fisher, they're not looking to go there.
Not looking to go there at all. The bomb working its way over the half wall, but Prada able to at least fight it off for now, keep himself alive in the play. Oklahoma Christian still down a man and still having to find a way to shut this push down. Open that in through the inside. Oh, no.
Good kill, though. That's going to trap the bomb in the video store. Now for Fisher, You're looking for an opportunity to recollect. Darksiv throws the shoulder, but Prada has the overwatch. Still favorable man advantage for the side of Fisher, so you might be able to just send a player in, get that bomb, and get out. That's exactly what they'll do, but Prada with the information is going to activate his way forward. Not going to be able to find the kill.
Couple of tags, but as you said, no kill, and now with the time just dwindling away, Prada has to get in here and shut this plant down, but out with his life like a speedy man. Not gonna be able to find him. Prada now the last one alive to stop the Fish from walking away with the series, and the reverse sweep is denied. The Fish are successful and will move on to the winners finals.
They go from swimming to walking. Now can they run past the winner of St. Clair and Northwood for an opportunity to punch their tickets into the grand finals? The Fish are evolving on the main stage. For the Fish, I mean, everything that you do in that rewind, search, and destroy goes completely against what we saw all series long, Matt. This was an absolute grueler to get to this stage. It's all about the stamina that we asked at the start of the show. What would it look like for Fisher? It's looking immaculate.
Yeah, and we also talked about the resilience, Quinn. After going up 2-0, they lose a tough control. They lose a tough hard point. You're feeling like all the momentum is with Oklahoma Christian. Fisher puts their foot down, locks in 6-1 after going up 4-0 to start out the map. No funny business inside of that last map, Quinn. Oof. You look at it across the board. 250 to 213, 250 to 215, a 6-5, a 3-2. The last map, though, absolute domination from the Fish.
Reverse sweep denied. The Fish, they have the ice. And now you have an opportunity, a potential to punch your tickets into the grand finals if you can win your next series. Everything on the line, the trophy. It comes down to these final four teams. Oklahoma Christian on the other side of the coin. You go down into that loser's bracket. An opportunity still to battle your way forward. And folks, we have an upset. It's Fisher taking on Northwood in the winners finals. Matt, talk to me about this one, because St. Clair goes 3-0 in the pool play, and now they're down in losers.
And look, this is exactly why I touched on it a little bit before we got into this series, Quinn. Round robin play yesterday. How much was being kept under wraps? How much was being kept? As I do want to take a look at this. As the nades come through, I think it might bounce off the little ledge there. Like there's a step up to get through the doorway. I think it hits that little barrier and bounces. I don't even know, chat. That's still a wild one. But how much of your strats were kept under wraps yesterday, being round robin play? How much did you not want to give away to the other teams, showing what you could really do on the map? And how much was just getting adjusted to LAN play, as a lot of these squads here in the college scene haven't got the opportunity to play in many LANs this year. Obviously, there's going to be an adjustment period there. You can see the two teams from yesterday on the bottom of our table making good on the official bracket play today and putting themselves in the winners finals.
Hey, man, anything can happen in playoff play. That's all
playoffs?
You can say. Playoffs? We're talking about playoffs. We're talking about Final Four. We're talking about a champion to be crowned here tonight. Still a lot of great Call of Duty action to come your way. We go into the S&D. Fisher, as you said, not messing around from the jump. Phantoms immediately off of being a man down, responds with 2. If you have to award an MVP throughout this series, it has to be Timmy Phantoms.
Absolutely. I mean, doing everything for the Fish. I mean, really, I think for me, on the Fish squad, right, Phantoms just seemed to be the guy, especially in that second map S&D that was starting to put together kills, really kept them in it through that first part of the second map, really throughout the entire series, Quinn. Whenever they needed a big 2-piece, whenever they needed a big 3-piece, he was the one to find it.
Yeah, just doing everything for his squad. So much great looks from Phantoms and Fisher. And again, you talk about this Fisher roster, right? This is not necessarily the same roster that they've run all season. I mean, you've had players come in, you've had players come out. This group of 4 is not as battle-tested as a collective unit as Oklahoma Christian was. And we kind of talked about that, saying, hey, you know, this might be the lane on in. And ultimately, it just shows how much they have on the bench. Fisher is a titan within the CCL. We also want to take a look, though, at the other side of the coin. Northwood, St. Clair Saints, 3-0 in favor of Northwood. Let's take a look at those highlights, because my goodness, we need to see how this one ends up.
I mean, obviously, you know, we were casting this game here on the A stream, but over on the B stream, Northwood just absolutely putting BTA. Flames started off as well as Neum 12 and 9, and it really never seemed like a point here, especially early on when St. Clair Saints were able to find their way back. I mean, Northwood, look, you came out after yesterday. You were 0-3 yesterday, but now you start out a 3-0 sweep over what was considered to be the best team at the LAN.
Hey, man, I mean, the St. Clair Saints team has been clicking on another level leading up to this matchup. I feel like since they faced Fisher in their regional finals, I mean, they just hit another gear and they have been driving forward, but it feels like now they've been punched in the face, and we've seen them get punched in the face before. The regain was magnificent, but can they do it on LAN? Can they do it on the biggest big stage? Have an opportunity up against OC. Again, these are two teams that have storied history with each other as well. Northwood, though, I mean, they're coming out. They're looking to reclaim the title that they went back-to-back for a couple of years ago. And this is a roster to do it with. Flames, Mock, Neum, Dak, brother, you are bringing an absolute bazooka to a knife fight.
Northwood Esports as well. I mean, you could see it really throughout all of these maps. I mean, St. Clair, they were able to battle their way back. They were able to make things mixy, but it was Northwood that was just seemingly able to ice up in all the most important map moments, right? Towards the end of that skyline, inside of the round 11. Oh.
Wow.
That was nasty. That was nasty.
Brother.
Nah. Shoots the RC car and kills an enemy with their own RC here inside of the round 11. That was disgusting.
That is Rocket League. Jesus. I mean, if you're doing that at that point, what's happening with RC cars, by the way? Because you have RC cars that blow up and don't kill everybody around them, and then you have RC cars that get blown up by the enemies and kill their own drive. That's what I'm saying, man. There's no predictability with these things. Ridiculous. Anything that you expect out of BO6, expect the unexpected. I mean, St. Clair, you're getting the unexpected out of them. This is a team that we expected to be going up against the Fish right about now, but Northwood instead, they're here. They're looking to reclaim their throne, Matt.
And I mean, if you've seen as well and been paying attention to those life advantages going down to the last 3 rounds, everyone except that very last round came down to a 2v3 to a 2v4 type situation like that. Round 11 inside of their S&D and a super close hard point in their first map 1. That was as close as our series here, except it's Northwood just with a little bit more ice in the more important situations. And Quinn, how fitting is it that both of our map 2 S&D round 11s get changed by an RC?
Yeah.
Okay. RC madness.
Yeah, anything can happen on Championship Saturday. It's the final 4 teams. All of them still stand. 2 of them now down in the loser's bracket. 2 in the winner's bracket. It's Fisher taking on Northwood next. Cash and Corn will be joining you. But for me and Matt, we appreciate you guys in the chat. W production all season round. We appreciate the opportunity to come out for our first CCL season. Hope to see you guys next season. But still, a lot of great Call of Duty coming your way. Do not go anywhere. You got to see who's going to win the crown.